Little. In this video, I'm presenting my third assignment, that is to create a JWT token using a console application, then to create a .NET Core ASP.NET Core web application with the JWT token authentication. So I'm going to do the demonstrate the part one of the assignment, that is to create a JWT token in a console application. To do that, I'm going to be generating a security key first using the get.new function that you mentioned in the weekly slides. So this is the console output of the security key generated by using that code. Now I'm going to use this key in the app.config file. Then I'm going to use that app.config file to create a JWT token using this HMAC SHA-256 encryption algorithm. So this is the JWT token generated from the code above. So using this, I'm going to copy the content of this JWT token and verify it in the jwt.io debugger output. So here is the jwt.io debugger output. We can see the information that I specified in the app.config file in this payload data. Next, I'm going to be creating a ASP.NET Core web application with the JWT token based authentication. So we are now in this assignment. I'm going to be using the default weather forecast data API. So without authentication, when I log into the server, we can see the output of the API, output of the data from the API without any authentication. Next, I'm going to be adding the authentication and authorization to my data API. So to do that, I'm going to be using JWT tokens. So I'm going after adding the service, I'm going to be defining the authentication service. Here I'm going to be using the creating a username and password and creating a claim with that username and password, and I use the uh, encryption algorithm to create a JWT token. So after the authentication, we can see now I cannot directly access the web page. So to access the web page by authentication, I'm going to be using Postman. In the Postman, I'm using post request first and post request to authenticate the web server. So here in the post request body, I've specified my sign-in credentials. Then after the post request is successful, we can get the token which we can use in our get request. So in the get request header, I'm going to be using the token that is generated by the that is generated in the post request response. So using this token, I send a get request. Now we can see the data received from the web service. So finally, this is the data that is outputted from the get request response. Next, I'm going to be demonstrating the console application in the Visual Studio. So first, in the app.config file, I inputted all the credentials that are necessary and that are required in the JWT token, and I also pasted the security key generated by the get function. Next, and the signature.cs class, I'm the HMCACH SHA-256 algorithm will create a JWT token, will perform the encryption, and will create a token using the signature, payload, and header data. Here is the output of the JWT token. We can now I'm going to copy this one and then display this token data in the jwt.io debugger output. So you can see the data inputted in the app.config file in the payload data. Next, I'm going to demonstrate the ASP.NET Core web application to create an JWT to create a data API with the JWT token authentication. So in the app.config file, I have specified the key in the app settings field, security key in the app settings field. Then in the startup.cs class file, I have added a controller, added the authentication service in the controllers. Then in the authenticate service, I have created a claim using the student data, and then using the claim, I'm going to authenticate the web server and get the data from the data API. So I'm going to start the server. You can see without any authentication, we cannot access the data from the data API. So I'm in the Postman. I'm going to perform authentication, and using the key generator from the authentication, I'm going to get data from the server. So in the post request body, I specify the sign-in credentials. Then I send a post request. Here I got the token required for authentication. So now I can use this token to get in the get request to get the data from the server. So this is the data that is outputted by the server. So we can see the status of the response is 200. So it is a successful request. In the response body, we can find the data from the API.